She broke into my house at 6:47 a.m. Not a burglar, my HOA president. Door flies open. There's Karen in my living room, reeking of vanilla perfume, clipboard ready. $500 fine for unauthorized window treatments. Tosses the violation like I'm garbage every single week. She uses her master key to terrorize families like mine. Here's what she didn't know. I'm an electrician. Single dad, working double shifts so my daughter can get into Stanford. And I was done playing by her rules. My coffee mug crashes to the floor. The sound echoes through my house like a gunshot. What happened next destroyed Karen's life completely. She ended up covered in bright blue paint, sobbing on live TV, while the FBI dragged her away in handcuffs. And it all started with a doorknob rigged to explode. What would you do if your HOA president kept breaking into your house? Comment, revenge, if you want justice. Let me tell you how this nightmare started. I'm Marcus Rivera, 45, union electrician, single dad to Sophia. She's 16, straight A's, dreams of Stanford Medical School. This kid studies like her life depends on it, because honestly, it does. 18 months ago, we bought our house in Meadowbrook Estates, Phoenix. 1970s ranch that needed work, but solid bones. $280,000, every penny I had. The smell of fresh drywall compound and coffee grounds fills our mornings. Sophia's violin practice echoes through bare walls while I rewire outlets and patch holes. It's not fancy, but it's ours. Then Karen Whitmore entered our lives like a vanilla-scented tornado. 8 years as HOA president, runs unopposed because nobody else is crazy enough to want the job. Real estate agent, white BMW X5, vanity plates screaming sold. Lives in the mansion she inherited, never earned a damn thing herself. The woman reeks of vanilla perfume mixed with Marlboro lights. You smell her coming 3 blocks away. Married to Jerry, this beaten-down accountant who apologizes for breathing. No kids, which explains why she treats everyone else as like criminals. Week 2 after moving in, Karen appears with violation #1. My pickup truck violates commercial vehicle restrictions. It's a personal F-150 with a ladder rack for side jobs. Sophia's college fund depends on that extra income. $150 fine. Park it off street, she announces, not looking up from her precious clipboard. The sound of gravel crunching under her designer heels as she storms off. That sound haunts me, but Karen was just warming up. Monthly violations rolled in like bills. Mailbox ½ inch too low, $200. Grass 1 inch long, $150. Christmas lights 3 days past deadline, $300. Each violation delivered personally, with Karen using her emergency master key to waltz through my house like she owned it. Here's what really boiled my blood. Mrs. Patterson next door, 15 years, 0 violations. The Johnsons across the street, clean record, but every new family, every person of color, every single parent. Suddenly Karen discovered problems everywhere. Sophia noticed first. Dad, she keeps talking about people like us when she thinks I can't hear. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about rules. This was about Karen's vision of who deserved to live in her neighborhood. Apparently, a Mexican-American electrician raising his daughter alone didn't make the cut. The breaking point came 3 months in. Sophia was outside studying. Yes, studying outside because our house was 90 degrees and I couldn't afford AC repair yet. She had textbooks spread on a blanket, violin beside her for practice breaks. Karen appears like a bad rash. Excessive use of residential lawn for non-recreational activities, $400 fine. Sophia looks up confused. Ma'am, children should study indoors. This isn't a library. My daughter, this brilliant, respectful kid, gets lectured like a criminal for reading books on her own lawn. That night, Sophia asks me, Dad, are we the kind of people who don't belong here? I wanted to punch something. Instead, I started documenting everything. Every violation, every fine, every illegal entry with that master key. Because Karen Whitmore had just made this personal. Jerry sometimes apologizes at the grocery store. She's protecting property values, he mumbles, unable to meet my eyes. Sure, Jerry, protecting property values by terrorizing a single dad and his honor student daughter. Sophia started calling Karen the vanilla vulture after she swooped down during outdoor study time, complaining about excessive sidewalk chalk usage. It was hopscotch squares. But here's what Karen didn't know about me. I'm not just an electrician. I'm a union guy. I know how to organize. I know how to fight back. And I was about to teach Meadowbrook Estates' self-appointed queen exactly what happens when you mess with the wrong family. 3 weeks after the Sophia study incident, Karen escalated to biological warfare. I'm talking about the Great Garden Genocide of Meadowbrook Estates. See, Sophia had planted this tiny vegetable garden, tomatoes, herbs, a few peppers, 94 square feet of pure joy for my daughter. She'd water it every morning before school, check the tomato progress like a scientist monitoring an experiment. For a kid stressed about college applications, that garden was her therapy. Karen had other plans. I'm at work, running electrical for a new office building, when my phone buzzes. Text from Sophia. Dad, you need to see this. I race home to find a violation notice staked in my front yard like a declaration of war. The paper flutters in the desert wind, but Karen's message is crystal clear. Violation: unauthorized agricultural activities. Non-native plant species violate Meadowbrook Estates Aesthetic Standards Clause 47B. Garden attracts vermin and disrupts neighborhood harmony. $750 fine. Removal required within 10 days or face legal action. Sophia's standing by her tomato plants, tears in her eyes. Dad, she called our food vermin bait. The smell of diesel exhaust from Karen's BMW still lingers in my driveway. She'd just left, probably grinning like she'd conquered Europe. Now, I'm a pretty calm guy. You have to be in electrical work. One wrong move and you're crispy. But watching my daughter's face crumble over some power-hungry HOA president, that flipped every switch in my head. Here's where Karen made her first major mistake. She picked a fight with someone who actually reads the fine print. That weekend, I'm at the county clerk's office, digging through HOA documents like I'm hunting treasure. Sophia's with me. The kid's got a sharp legal mind, turns out. My old union rep always told us read every contract like your life depends on it because it does. Smart advice that was about to save our asses. After 4 hours of paperwork hell, we hit gold. Dad, look at this. Sophia points to page 127, subsection 8C. HOA rules require 30-day written notice for any fine over $500. She only gave us 10 days. Bingo. Karen screwed up the paperwork. Rookie mistake that invalidates the whole violation. But wait, there's more. Page 94, buried in subsection 12A. Personal food gardens under 100 square feet are exempt from landscape restrictions for dietary and cultural needs. Our garden? 94 square feet. I'd measured it myself when Sophia planted it. Monday morning, I file a formal appeal with documentation, photos, measurements, legal citations, the works. I'm feeling pretty good about our chances. Tuesday evening, Karen calls an emergency board meeting. The meeting's held in the community center, a beige room that smells like burnt coffee and broken dreams. Karen sits at a folding table with her two board cronies. Bill Hendricks, retired bank manager who follows Karen like a lost puppy, and Sandra Mills, Karen's real estate colleague who owes her 3 referrals. I show up with my evidence folder, ready for justice. Sophia's there for moral support, plus she's better at legal arguments than most lawyers. Mr. Rivera, Karen begins, not even looking at my documentation. The board has reviewed your complaint. Appeal denied. Wait, you haven't even looked at the evidence. The board has spoken. Karen slams her gavel like she's sentencing me to death. You have 7 days to comply or face legal action. That's when she reveals her trump card, a thick manila folder labeled Rivera Surveillance. Sophia actually gasps. I feel my blood pressure spike. I keep very detailed records, Karen purrs, spreading photos across the table like she's playing poker with our lives. The photos show everything. My truck in the driveway, Sophia studying outside, close-ups of our garden from different angles. But here's the kicker. Pictures taken through our windows, our actual windows, showing our excessive personal belongings. This is stalking, Sophia whispers. This is property management, Karen corrects that vanilla perfume cloud growing thicker as she leans forward. I take my responsibilities very seriously. I'm sitting there, looking at photos of my daughter taken without permission, and something cold settles in my stomach. This woman isn't just enforcing rules. She's obsessed. She's been watching us like we're animals in a zoo. But here's the thing about electricians. We're methodical. We plan circuits 3 steps ahead because electricity doesn't forgive mistakes. And Karen just showed me exactly what kind of circuit she was running. Sophia starts calling Karen Inspector Gadget after this meeting, complete with clipboard, measuring tape, and magnifying glass hanging from her neck like some suburban sheriff wannabe. Walking out, Sophia grabs my arm. Dad, she's completely insane. Yeah, sweetheart, but insane people make predictable mistakes. That night, I start researching security cameras, legal ones, and I start documenting Karen's documentation, because if she wants to play surveillance games, she just picked a fight with someone who understands exactly how circuits work. including the ones that are about to short out her perfect little world. Karen's surveillance photos were just the appetizer. The main course of crazy was about to be served. 2 weeks after the board meeting, she escalated from stalking to straight-up breaking and entering. It's Tuesday, 2:47 p.m. I'm rewiring a warehouse 40 minutes away when my phone explodes with security alerts. Sophia's at school. House should be empty. But there's Karen in my living room, wearing latex gloves like she's investigating a murder scene. She's not just taking photos. She's opening my cabinets, checking inside my refrigerator, even rifling through Sophia's homework. This woman brought a measuring tape to document the excessive height of our coffee maker. The violation she leaves reads like a psychiatric evaluation. Unauthorized interior paint colors, non-compliance with aesthetic standards through excessive personal belongings, $1,000 fine. When I get home, her vanilla perfume lingers in every room like toxic waste. Sophia walks in from school and immediately gags. "Dad, why does our house smell like someone murdered a candle?" That night, I draft a certified letter citing Arizona trespassing law, 24-hour written notice required for any inspection, master key or not. Send it certified mail thinking this nightmare would stop. Karen had other plans. Friday evening, emergency board meeting number 2. Same beige room, same burnt coffee, same 3-person tribunal. Mr. Rivera has sent threatening correspondence to this board, Karen announces, waving my legal notice like evidence of terrorism. It's not threatening, it's creating hostile environments toward HOA officials violates community safety standards. Her eyes are practically glowing. We're implementing enhanced security protocols. Here comes the twist I never saw coming. Effective immediately, all security cameras require board approval. Unauthorized surveillance equipment constitutes invasion of neighbor privacy, $1,000 fine. Removal required within 24 hours. But wait, there's more. Furthermore, any homeowner filing frivolous legal complaints will face immediate review for community compatibility. Sandra Mills leans forward with a shark smile. Such reviews may result in forced sale requirements. They're trying to kick us out of our own house. I'm sitting there, stunned, when my phone buzzes. Text message from unknown number. Check your email. A friend. The email contains a PDF that makes my blood freeze. Meadowbrook Estates Demographic Transition Plan. Confidential board discussion. Karen's been documenting every minority family, every single parent, every undesirable resident. Our names are on a target list with timelines for encouraging voluntary relocation through compliance pressure. This isn't random harassment, it's ethnic cleansing with a clipboard. But Karen made one crucial mistake. She picked a target who actually reads electrical codes for a living. See, when you work with 240-volt circuits, attention to detail keeps you alive. And I'd been studying HOA law like it was high-voltage wiring. That weekend, Sophia and I hit the county records office. 4 hours of legal documents later, we strike gold. "Dad, look at this." Sophia points to page 23 of the original 1987 HOA charter. Maximum 6 consecutive years for board president. Karen served 8 years. Her entire presidency is illegal. Every fine, every rule change, every violation from the past 2 years, invalid. But Sophia finds something even better. State law says HOA can't ban security cameras on private property facing private property. Her new rule violates Arizona Statute 33 to 1,808 inches. We're not just fighting harassment anymore. We're holding evidence that could destroy Karen's entire operation. Sunday morning, secret meeting at Murphy's Diner. Dexter and Maya from Oak Street, Mrs. Chen. Even Jerry shows up, looking like death warmed over. "She's been using HOA money for personal legal fees," Jerry whispers, sliding bank statements across our booth. $12,000 this year alone. The smell of bacon grease mixes with conspiracy as we plan revolution over pancakes. Dexter offers digital evidence compilation. Maya provides legal interpretation. Mrs. Chen shares 20 years of Karen's escalating power trips. But I'm thinking bigger. Karen wants to play surveillance games? Fine. She wants to invade my privacy? Perfect. She wants to document everything? Time to give her something worth documenting. That night, I order methylene blue powder online. Food-safe, temporary skin stain used in medical procedures. Completely legal. Sophia suggests adding UV reactive powder for photographic evidence. "Dad, if she's going to keep breaking in, let's make sure she leaves evidence behind." My daughter's a genius. We test the mixture on our back gate. Perfect invisible coating that transfers bright blue handprints on contact, fades in 48 hours, but shows up brilliant under UV light. Karen wants to play games? Game on. Because this electrician was about to teach Meadowbrook's self-appointed queen exactly what happens when you mess with the wrong circuit. The blue paint trap was ready, but Karen decided to go nuclear first. Monday morning, I wake up to find an official-looking envelope taped to my front door. Not mailed, hand-delivered at dawn like some kind of legal ambush. Special assessment notice, mandatory community beautification initiative, amount due, $2,400 per household. Payment deadline, 30 days. Late fees, 18% annual interest. $2,400 for beautification. Sophia reads over my shoulder while I'm still in my bathrobe, coffee mug frozen halfway to my lips. Dad, what's a special assessment? Legal theft with paperwork. The notice claims money's needed for new entrance gates and landscaping. No detailed budget, no contractor bids, no explanation beyond Karen's signature stamped at the bottom like a royal decree. I call the number listed for questions. It goes straight to Karen's real estate office voicemail. Your call is important to us, but not important enough to answer. At work, I'm running electrical for a medical building when Tony, my union rep, calls back about HOA law. Turns out homeowners have legal rights to financial records. HOAs can't just demand money without transparency. Marcus, file a formal request for their books. They have to provide documentation within 10 business days, or the assessment's invalid. Wednesday, I march into Karen's real estate office with my written request. The place reeks of vanilla air freshener and desperation. 3 empty desks, 1 bored receptionist, and Karen's corner office with blinds drawn like she's running a mob operation. We need to see HOA financial records, I announce. The receptionist, barely out of high school, looks terrified. Miss Whitmore handles all HOA business personally. Then get Miss Whitmore. She's in a very important meeting. Karen's door opens. She emerges like a vanilla-scented vampire, clipboard already in hand. Mr. Rivera, how unexpected. I'm requesting HOA financial records. Arizona law gives homeowners access to see where our money goes. Karen's smile could freeze hell. That information is proprietary, board business. Actually, it's not. I slide my written request across the counter. You have 10 business days to comply or the special assessment becomes invalid. For just a second, Karen's mask slips. I see something that looks like panic flash across her face before the fake smile returns. Of course, we'll review your request. But here's where things get interesting. Thursday morning, I'm at the county clerk's office checking permit records for Karen's supposed beautification projects. 0 permits filed, no contractor applications, no landscaping proposals. The money's going nowhere except Karen's pocket. Friday evening, Sophia's at the kitchen table working on her civics project when she makes a discovery that changes everything. Dad, I found something weird in the public records. She's got HOA financial filings spread out like she's cracking the Da Vinci Code. Look at these bank statements from last year. She points to a series of withdrawals. $3,500 to KW Legal Consulting, $2,800 to Whitmore Property Management, $4,200 to Community Enhancement LLC. Dad, all these companies, they're registered to Karen's address. My daughter just uncovered embezzlement with nothing but internet research and teenage determination. But the real bombshell comes when Jerry shows up at our door Saturday morning, looking like he hasn't slept in months. His hands are shaking as he hands me a manila envelope. I can't do this anymore, he whispers, glancing around like Karen might materialize from the bushes. She's lost her mind. Inside the envelope, bank statements, expense reports, and Karen's personal calendar. She's been billing the HOA $200 per hour for community inspections, aka stalking neighbors. She used HOA funds to pay for private investigators to dig up dirt on problem residents. She even charged the community for her BMW lease payments under administrative vehicle expenses. Jerry, why now? Because yesterday she started talking about you and Sophia. His voice cracks. She wants to file false CPS reports, claims Sophia's being neglected because she studies outside. The blood drains from my face. Child Protective Services. Karen's planning to weaponize the state against my daughter. She's been drinking since the divorce papers were filed last week, Jerry continues. Says she needs to clean house before everything falls apart. Wait, divorce papers? Karen's whole real estate business is collapsing. Market downturn hit her hard, and being HOA president is the only power she has left. But I'm done being part of her madness. That afternoon, I gather our resistance cell at Murphy's Diner. Dexter, Maya, Mrs. Chen, and now Jerry, Karen's own husband turned whistleblower. The evidence is overwhelming. illegal presidency, financial fraud, harassment, stalking, trespassing. But Mrs. Chen raises the crucial question over her apple pie. When do we spring this trap? Karen's getting more desperate. Desperate people do crazy things. I look around our booth, these brave neighbors who decided to fight back against suburban tyranny. Tomorrow night, Karen always does her Monday evening inspections. We'll be ready, because it was time for the vanilla vulture to get her wings clipped permanently. Sunday night, Sophia's researching online property records for her civics project when she discovers the nuclear bomb that changes everything. Dad, you need to see this right now. She's got her laptop open to the county assessor's website, cross-referencing HOA founding documents with state corporation filings. My daughter's turned into a teenage detective, and what she found makes my coffee mug slip from my hands. Look at the original HOA charter from 1987, page 23. She points to a clause buried in legal jargon. Board president term limits, maximum 6 consecutive years. Karen's served 8 years. Her entire presidency is illegal, but Sophia's not done. Dad, it gets worse. Check out the financial stuff. She pulls up HOA budget records. The original 1987 charter established a $15,000 emergency legal defense fund for homeowner disputes. Current balance, according to last year's filing, $847. Where'd the other $14,000 go? We spend the next hour digging through public records, and the picture gets uglier by the minute. Karen's been systematically draining community funds for years. Every special assessment she's imposed, every emergency expense she's claimed, it's all been funneling money into her personal accounts. But here's the smoking gun that makes my electrician brain light up. Property records show Karen's house is 3 months behind on mortgage payments. Her real estate business license is under review for client complaints. She's facing personal bankruptcy. Dad, she's stealing from the HOA to pay her own bills. This isn't about neighborhood standards or property values. This is about a desperate woman using illegal authority to commit fraud on a massive scale. Sophia finds more evidence in the state corporation database. Every contractor Karen's hired for community improvements, fake companies registered to her address, every vendor she's paid for emergency repairs, shell corporations she controls. Look at this. Sophia shows me a business registration for Meadowbrook Property Solutions, LLC. Registered owner, Karen W. Whitmore. Business address, her house. Total HOA payments to this company over 2 years, $47,000. For services that never happened. Jerry's intel about divorce proceedings suddenly makes perfect sense. Karen's husband discovered her fraud and filed for divorce to protect himself legally. She's about to lose everything. Her marriage, her business, her house, her freedom. And she knows it. Sophia, this explains why she's been so aggressive lately. She's trying to squeeze every penny out of the community before her whole scam collapses. My daughter nods, already thinking 3 steps ahead. But Dad, if we expose this now, she'll just lawyer up and destroy evidence. We need to catch her in the act. Smart kid, very smart kid. But then Sophia finds something that makes my blood turn to ice. A document titled Community Transition Strategy buried in the HOA's digital files. It's Karen's master plan. Systematically force out undesirable residents through harassment and bogus fines, then resell their homes through her real estate company at inflated prices. She's been targeting families like ours not out of racism, though that's definitely part of it, but because single parents and minorities are easier to intimidate and less likely to fight back legally. She's been running a protection racket disguised as Homeowner Association management. The document lists our family specifically. Rivera household, priority removal target, single father, limited legal resources, daughter's college timeline creates financial pressure. Estimated timeline to forced sale, 4-6 months. Karen's been planning to destroy us from day one. Dad, we can't just defend ourselves anymore. We have to go on offense. Sophia's right. We're not fighting an overzealous HOA president. We're fighting an organized criminal who's been stealing from the entire community while targeting families for financial destruction. Every fake fine, every illegal entry, every harassment campaign has been part of Karen's elaborate embezzlement scheme. She's not enforcing rules. She's manufacturing compliance violations to justify stealing money. But here's what Karen doesn't know. I'm not just an electrician. I'm a union electrician. We don't just wire buildings. We wire people. We organize. We plan. We fight back systematically. And tomorrow night, when Karen uses her master key for another illegal inspection, she's going to trigger more than just a blue paint trap. She's going to trigger the complete collapse of her criminal empire. Sunday night, after Sophia's bombshell discovery, I call an emergency meeting of our resistance cell. Not at Murphy's Diner this time, too public. We gather in my garage at 9 p.m., tools and electrical equipment creating the perfect cover for revolution planning. Dexter arrives first, laptop bag slung over his shoulder like he's heading into digital warfare. Maya follows with a briefcase full of legal documents. Mrs. Chen shuffles in carrying a thermos of coffee and homemade cookies, because apparently overthrowing corrupt HOA presidents requires proper snacks. Jerry shows up last, looking like a man who's finally decided to stop being afraid of his own shadow. All right, people, I begin, spreading Sophia's evidence across my workbench between power drills and wire strippers. We're not playing defense anymore. It's time to take Karen down permanently. Dexter sets up his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. I've been building a secure database of all our evidence, photos, documents, financial records, video footage. Cloud stored with multiple backups. If Karen tries to destroy anything, we've got copies. Smart kid. But I'm thinking bigger. Maya, what's our legal strategy if we expose everything at once? Maya opens her briefcase like she's revealing nuclear codes. With Jerry's financial documents and Sophia's research, we can file complaints with multiple agencies simultaneously. State HOA Oversight Board for the illegal presidency, County Prosecutor for embezzlement, FBI for wire fraud if she's been using electronic transfers. Mrs. Chen sips her coffee thoughtfully. In my 20 years here, Karen's targeted 12 families. All minorities, single parents, or young couples. If we can get them all to file complaints together. Class action harassment lawsuit, Maya finishes. Plus RICO charges if we can prove organized criminal activity. But here's where my electrical background gives us the real advantage. I pull out a small device I've been working on. A motion-activated camera smaller than a smoke detector, designed to look like a standard electrical outlet cover. Tomorrow night, Karen's going to break into my house again. Her pattern is always Monday evenings when she thinks we're not home. But this time, we're going to document everything in 4K resolution. Jerry nods nervously. She's been planning something big, kept talking about final solutions for problem residents. The blue paint trap is just the beginning. I show them my real masterpiece, tiny RFID tags that transfer invisible UV reactive powder on contact. I've embedded them in door handles, light switches, cabinet knobs, anywhere Karen might touch during her illegal searches. When she leaves my house, she'll be covered in evidence that won't wash off for weeks. Under UV light, she'll glow like a Christmas tree. Sophia appears in the garage doorway with a tray of sandwiches. Dad, I've been thinking about the timing. Karen always posts on the neighborhood Facebook group about her property inspections. If we could get her to admit publicly that she's planning to enter your house. Dexter grins. Screenshot evidence of premeditated trespassing. Brilliant. But Mrs. Chen raises the crucial question. What about afterward? Karen's going to fight back hard when she realizes we've exposed her. That's why we do everything simultaneously, I explain, pulling up my own laptop to show them the coordination plan. Tomorrow evening, Karen triggers the paint trap and gets documented breaking in. Tuesday morning, all evidence goes to authorities at once. Tuesday afternoon, emergency HOA meeting with every resident invited, media present. Maya adds the legal timeline. State Oversight Board moves fast on financial fraud cases. With Jerry's testimony and Sophia's documentation, they could freeze HOA accounts within 48 hours. Jerry looks terrified but determined. What about Karen's threats against Sophia? The CPS calls? Already handled. I pull out my phone showing a recorded conversation with my lawyer. Child Services investigates anonymous complaints, but they also investigate false reporting. With our evidence of Karen's harassment campaign, any CPS report she files becomes criminal retaliation. Dexter's been quietly typing throughout our planning session. Now he turns his laptop around to show us something that makes everyone go silent. I've been monitoring Karen's digital footprint, email accounts, social media, property records. Guys, she's been coordinating with HOA presidents in 3 other neighborhoods. This isn't just about Meadowbrook. She's running the same scam in multiple communities. The scope of Karen's criminal enterprise just expanded beyond anything we imagined. Federal crime, Maya whispers. Wire fraud across municipal boundaries. We're not just taking down a corrupt HOA president. We're exposing a multi-community embezzlement ring, Mrs. Chen sets down her coffee cup with a definitive clink. Then we better make sure we get this right the first time. I look around my garage at this unlikely team of suburban revolutionaries. A software engineer, a paralegal, an elderly Chinese grandmother, a beaten-down accountant, and an electrician with a grudge. Tomorrow night, we spring the trap. Tuesday morning, we end Karen Whitmore's criminal career permanently. Because sometimes the best way to fix a broken circuit is to burn it down and rewire the whole system. Monday morning, Karen goes full scorched earth. I wake up to find my truck vandalized. Sugar in the gas tank, 2 slashed tires, and criminal spray painted across the driver's side door in hot pink letters. The sweet smell of antifreeze mixes with desert morning air as I survey the damage. Sophia comes out to catch her school bus and stops dead. Dad, oh my God. But that's just Karen's opening move. By 10 a.m., I get a call from Phoenix Security Services claiming they've received multiple complaints about a dangerous resident and need to inspect my security cameras for neighborhood safety violations. When I refuse entry without a warrant, they threaten to report me to police for obstructing a safety investigation. Turns out, Karen hired a private security company to harass me under the guise of community protection. At lunch, my work supervisor pulls me aside. Marcus, I got a weird call this morning. Some woman claiming you're running illegal electrical work out of your house, threatening to report us to the licensing board. Karen's weaponizing my livelihood now, but her masterpiece of psychological warfare comes Tuesday afternoon. Sophia calls me in tears from school. Dad, a lady from Child Protective Services came to my chemistry class. She wanted to ask about my living conditions and whether I feel safe at home. My blood turns to ice. Karen actually filed false CPS reports. What did you tell them? The truth, that you're the best dad in the world and whoever called them is lying. Sophia's voice shakes with fury. But Dad, she asked really specific questions about our house, our garden, even my violin practice. Whoever reported us knows way too much about our lives. That evening, I'm installing the final components of our trap when Dexter texts urgent updates from his digital surveillance post. Karen just posted on Nextdoor about dangerous criminal elements in the neighborhood. She's sharing edited photos of your house, claiming you're running some kind of illegal business. Comments are going crazy. I check the post. Karen's carefully cropped my work truck photos to hide the legitimate electrical company logos, making my ladder racks look like drug dealer equipment. She's turned me into a neighborhood boogeyman with selective editing and paranoid commentary. But here's where Karen makes her fatal mistake. Jerry texts me around 8 p.m. She's planning something tonight. Overheard her on phone with someone about gathering final evidence for authorities. She thinks you and Sophia are at Sophia's violin recital. Except Sophia's recital was last week. Karen's been stalking us so obsessively that she's confusing her own surveillance notes. Perfect. 9:47 p.m., my hidden cameras pick up movement. Karen's BMW pulls into my driveway, headlights off like she's conducting a stealth mission. She sits in her car for 5 minutes, probably psyching herself up for what she thinks will be her final illegal entry. From my hiding spot in the garage, I watch her approach my front door. She's wearing all black. Black jeans, black hoodie, black gloves. This woman dressed like a cat burglar for her HOA inspection. The vanilla perfume cloud announces her presence before I even see her. She uses her master key with practiced efficiency, but something's different this time. Instead of her usual clipboard inspection routine, Karen's moving through my house like she's conducting a drug raid. Opening drawers, photographing personal documents, even checking behind picture frames. She's planting evidence. Through my phone app, I watch her place small plastic bags in various locations. My kitchen drawer, Sophia's bedroom, behind books on our shelf. Whatever's in those bags, Karen's setting us up for something big. But when she reaches for my front door handle to leave, the trap triggers perfectly. Bright blue paint transfers onto her hands, door, clothes. The RFID powder activates, coating her with invisible UV reactive chemicals that will mark everything she touches for the next month. Karen notices the blue immediately. First confusion, then panic as she realizes the paint won't wipe off. She tries using her hoodie, then tissue from her pocket, but the methylene blue just spreads wider across her hands and arms. "What the hell?" she hisses, staring at her stained palms. Then she sees the tiny camera I'd positioned to capture her expression. Her face goes white, well, whiter than usual, as she realizes she's been caught on video breaking into my house with planted evidence. Karen runs. She bolts for her BMW, leaving blue handprints on everything she touches. Her car door, steering wheel, gear shifter. Under UV light, she's glowing like a radioactive Christmas ornament. But as her taillights disappear down our street, I realize this isn't over. This is escalation. Karen's moved from harassment to framing me for crimes. Tomorrow, she'll probably claim I assaulted her with chemical weapons. Time to activate phase 2 of our plan, because sometimes the only way to stop a criminal is to expose their entire operation to the world. Wednesday morning, Karen unleashes her nuclear option. I'm barely awake when my phone explodes with calls. First, Phoenix police wanting to discuss chemical assault charges, then Child Protective Services demanding an emergency welfare check. Finally, the county health department about hazardous materials violations. Karen's playing every card in her deck simultaneously. By 8 a.m., there's a patrol car in my driveway. Officer Martinez looks like he'd rather be anywhere else as he explains the situation. Sir, we received a complaint about someone being attacked with unknown chemicals. The complainant has blue stains on her hands and claims you booby-trapped your property. I invite him inside, show him the security footage of Karen's break-in, explain the methylene blue setup. Officer Martinez watches the video twice, shaking his head. Mr. Rivera, this is clearly trespassing, but I still have to file a report about the chemical exposure. It's food-grade dye used in medical procedures, completely harmless. I understand, but the complainant is demanding charges. An hour later, CPS investigator Sarah Chen arrives, no relation to Mrs. Chen, unfortunately. She's professional but thorough, interviewing Sophia about our living conditions while photographing our house like it's a crime scene. The report claimed your daughter was being neglected, possibly endangered by chemical weapon storage. Sophia, bless her heart, gives the investigator a chemistry lesson about methylene blue while showing off her Stanford early admission letter. Hard to claim neglect when your kid's heading to one of the best universities in the country. But Karen's masterstroke comes at noon, an emergency board meeting with official legal representation. She's hired Bradley Morrison, Phoenix's most expensive HOA attorney, a shark who specializes in destroying homeowners who fight back. The meeting notice arrives via certified mail and sheriff's deputy, making it feel like a criminal summons. Emergency hearing, homeowner compliance and community safety review. Subject, Marcus Rivera. Violations, property damage, chemical assault, harassment of board members, creation of hostile environment. The meeting scheduled for Friday evening at the community center with legal consequences threatened for non-attendance. But here's where Jerry drops our biggest bombshell yet. Thursday morning, he shows up at my door with a banker's box full of documents, his hands shaking as he sets it on my kitchen table. I'm done protecting her, he says, voice hollow. Take everything. Inside the box, 5 years of Karen's personal financial records, HOA expense reports she thought were destroyed, and email printouts that read like a criminal confession. The emails reveal Karen's been coordinating with Bradley Morrison for months, planning to systematically remove problem residents through legal intimidation. They've done this in 4 other neighborhoods, stealing hundreds of thousands in HOA funds while forcing families to sell homes at below-market prices. Jerry, why now? Because yesterday she told Morrison about Sophia. His voice cracks. She wants to claim your daughter's a danger to other children because of the chemical weapons in your house. She's planning to get Sophia removed from your custody. My vision goes red. Chemical weapons. She's going to claim my perfectly legal blue paint trap makes me an unfit parent. There's more. Jerry pulls out a digital recorder. I've been documenting her phone calls with Morrison. She admits the break-ins, the planted evidence, the false CPS reports. She's confessing to everything because she thinks I'm still on her side. The recording is damning. Karen's voice, clear as day. The Rivera situation requires aggressive action. Plant the drug residue in the daughter's room, claim the father's running some kind of lab. CPS will remove the kid, financial pressure will force a quick sale, we get our commission plus the cleanup contract. She's been planning to destroy my family for money. That evening, our resistance cell holds our final war council. But this time, we're joined by unexpected allies. Mrs. Patterson from next door, tired of Karen's increasing paranoia. The Hendersons from Oak Street, whose teenage son Karen accused of gang affiliation for wearing basketball jerseys. Even Sandra Mills, Karen's former board ally, who finally realized she's been enabling a criminal. She approached me about supporting her final solution for problem residents, Sandra admits, hands shaking. When I realized she meant forced removals and custody battles, I knew this had gone too far. Dexter's been monitoring Karen's digital communications. She's hired a crisis management firm to handle media if this blows up. She knows we have evidence and she's preparing for war. Maya reviews our legal ammunition. With Jerry's recordings and financial documents, we can file criminal charges for conspiracy, fraud, attempted kidnapping through false CPS reports, and RICO violations for the multi-neighborhood scheme. But Mrs. Chen raises the crucial question, when do we strike? Karen's getting more desperate every day. I look around my living room at this unlikely army of suburban revolutionaries. Tomorrow night, Karen thinks she's walking into a legal ambush that will destroy my family. Instead, she's walking into the complete annihilation of her criminal empire. Friday's board meeting is her last stand. Time to show Meadowbrook Estates what real justice looks like. Friday evening, 6 p.m. The Meadowbrook Elementary multipurpose room transforms into a courtroom for the trial of the century, Suburban Edition. 47 of our 52 households show up. Largest HOA meeting in neighborhood history. I've never seen this many people care about community business, but word spread fast about Karen's final power play. Local Channel 12 news crew sets up in the back corner. Dexter anonymously tipped them about HOA corruption and embezzlement. County HOA oversight official Maria Santos sits at the front table, flanked by a sheriff's deputy for security purposes. Karen arrives 20 minutes late with her legal cavalry, Bradley Morrison, 2 junior associates, and enough briefcases to stock a law firm. She's wearing a power suit and enough concealer to hide a crime scene, but I can still see faint blue stains around her fingernails. The vanilla perfume cloud announces her entrance like a toxic fog warning. "Ladies and gentlemen," Karen begins, voice trembling with manufactured authority, "tonight we address a serious threat to our community's safety and property values." She launches into her prepared character assassination, claims I'm running illegal electrical work, endangering children with chemical weapons, creating a hostile environment for law-abiding residents. Bradley Morrison nods along like a bobblehead, probably billing $500 per nod. Mr. Rivera has consistently violated community standards, ignored board directives, and now resorted to physical assault against elected officials. A few elderly residents murmur nervously. Karen's performance is Academy Award worthy, if there was an Oscar for suburban villainy. Therefore, this board recommends immediate legal action for contract violations, with forced sale proceedings to begin Monday morning. Forced sale. "She's trying to steal my house." Maria Santos clears her throat. "Miss Whitmore, before we proceed, I need to address some procedural concerns about this board's authority." Karen's smile falters for just a second. "I'm sorry?" "County records show this board has exceeded its legal term limits. Your presidency should have ended 2 years ago. That's a misunderstanding of the charter language. It's a clear violation of state law." Maria pulls out a thick folder. "Every decision made by this board since 2022 is legally invalid." The room erupts in whispers. Karen's face goes white as copy paper. "But I'm not done yet. Time for the mic drop." "Actually, Maria, illegal presidency is just the beginning." I stand up, evidence folder in hand. "Karen Whitmore isn't just a corrupt HOA president. She's a career criminal." Bradley Morrison jumps up. "Objection. This is a board meeting, not a trial." "Sit down, counselor." The sheriff's deputy's voice cuts through the room like a blade. "Let the man speak." I pull out my laptop, connect it to the room's projector. "Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you what Karen's really been doing with your money." The first slide shows financial records. $67,000 in fraudulent payments to Karen's fake companies over 3 years. Gasps from the audience. Jerry sinks lower in his chair. She's been stealing from every family in this room to pay her personal bills. Second slide. The surveillance photos Karen took of residents' private property, including images through bedroom windows, illegal stalking and invasion of privacy. Third slide. Email screenshots showing Karen's coordination with other corrupt HOA presidents across Phoenix. Organized criminal enterprise spanning multiple communities. But the real bombshell comes when I play Jerry's recording of Karen planning to plant evidence in Sophia's room. Her voice fills the room, crystal clear. "Plant the drug residue in the daughter's room, claim the father's running some kind of lab. CPS will remove the kid, financial pressure will force a quick sale." The silence is deafening. Karen tries to speak, but no words come out. Bradley Morrison looks like he's calculating how fast he can distance himself from this disaster. That recording is illegal," Karen finally sputters. "Jerry violated attorney-client privilege." "I'm not your attorney," Jerry says quietly, standing up. "I'm your victim, and I'm done being afraid of you." The dam breaks. Mrs. Patterson stands up, then the Hendersons, then Sandra Mills. One by one, Karen's victims start sharing their stories. Harassment, illegal fines, threats, intimidation. Years of suburban terrorism hidden behind clipboards and vanilla perfume. Maria Santos takes notes frantically while the news camera captures everything. "Miss Whitmore," Maria finally says, "based on the evidence presented tonight, I'm recommending immediate criminal investigation for embezzlement, fraud, conspiracy, and civil rights violations." Karen looks around the room at 47 faces staring back with a mixture of disgust and satisfaction. her empire of fear crumbling in real time. "This is all lies," she screams, desperation finally breaking through her composure. "These people are trying to destroy me because I maintain standards. Without proper leadership, this neighborhood will fall apart." "Karen," I say calmly, "you are the thing that's falling apart." She grabs her purse and runs for the exit, leaving blue handprints on the door handle as she flees into the night. The news reporter turns to me. "Mr. Rivera, what's your message to other HOA victims?" "Document everything, know your rights, and remember, bullies only have power if you let them." 2 weeks after Karen's public meltdown, Meadowbrook Estates transforms into an actual community for the first time in 8 years. Karen vanishes like a vanilla-scented ghost. BMW gone, real estate office shuttered, house up for sale. Jerry keeps the property but files for divorce the next morning. Apparently 30 years of marriage wasn't worth protecting a criminal. The legal avalanche buries Karen completely. State freezes HOA accounts within 48 hours. County prosecutor files embezzlement charges. FBI opens a multi-state investigation after Dexter's evidence reveals Karen's network spans 12 communities and over $800,000 in theft. Karen pleads guilty to avoid federal prison, gets 5 years probation, full restitution, and lifetime ban from any HOA involvement. Turns out suburban terrorism has real consequences. All those bogus fines, refunded with interest. The $67,000 stolen from our community gets returned to families who desperately needed it. Mrs. Patterson visits grandchildren in Seattle. The Hendersons fix their roof. Sophia and I can finally breathe. But here's where the story gets beautiful. We established the Sophia Rivera College Scholarship Fund using recovered money plus community donations, supporting first-generation STEM students who refuse to let bullies destroy their dreams. Sophia becomes our first recipient, $15,000 towards Stanford, funded by the neighborhood Karen tried to tear apart. "Dad," Sophia says before leaving for college, "she tried to divide us, but instead she united us." Maya becomes our new HOA president with actual term limits and transparency. Dexter implements digital financial tracking, making theft impossible. Jerry transforms into community handyman, fixing years of Karen's deferred maintenance. Mrs. Chen starts monthly potlucks where neighbors actually talk instead of hiding. Block parties replace harassment campaigns. Kids play outside without fear of clipboard violations. I launch Rivera Rights Consulting, helping communities nationwide fight HOA abuse. Sophia creates HOA horror stories and how to beat them on TikTok. 2.3 million views and counting, inspiring national reform conversations. 1 year later, the first annual Blue Hand Freedom Festival. 300 people celebrating community victory with grilled burgers, Sophia's violin concerts, Mrs. Chen's legendary dumplings, and voter registration booths for local elections. News teams document our transformation. State legislators cite our case for new oversight laws. The hardware store sells Karen defense kits, blue paint included, as best-selling novelty items. But the moment that breaks my heart with joy comes during Sophia's first Christmas break from Stanford. The entire neighborhood throws her a hero's welcome. Kids who barely knew her name now call her their inspiration. Parents thank her for teaching their children that bullies can be defeated with brains, organization, and a little blue paint. "Dad, remember when you worried we didn't belong here?" "Yeah, sweetheart. Turns out we weren't trying to fit into their neighborhood. We were building our own." The smell of vanilla perfume has been replaced by Mrs. Chen's cooking, Sophia's coffee experiments, and fresh paint from community improvement projects. Our house no longer echoes with conflict. It resonates with Sophia's violin, children's laughter, and the sound of neighbors helping neighbors. Sometimes the smallest act of resistance creates the biggest change. Karen thought she owned our community, but she forgot one crucial thing. Bullies only have power if good people stay silent, and we decided to get loud. Karen's probably out there somewhere, terrorizing some other neighborhood with her clipboard and vanilla cloud. But now, there are thousands of people who know exactly how to stop her. Because justice isn't just about winning, it's about teaching others how to fight back. Your turn to fight back. Drop your worst HOA nightmare in the comments below. Share the most insane, power-hungry neighbor story you've got. Let's expose these suburban tyrants together and help other families learn how to defend themselves. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for Karen's Stories, where we expose petty tyrants, celebrate justice victories, and teach you exactly how to beat bullies at their own game. Next week, Walmart manager thought he could steal my disabled veteran grandfather's food stamps, until I showed him what happens when you mess with family. Trust me, this revenge story will blow your mind. Remember, document everything, know your rights, and never let bullies win. You're stronger than you think, and you're never alone in this fight. Welcome to the Karen Stories family. Let's change the world, one bully at a time.